Hey guys, this is VVV Shaft, and today I am bringing to you another episode of Metagame Magic. This is our educational show where we look at either different kinds of styles in the various matchups, or we look at a specific technique or transition or something very, very specific to help Zergs play better. Today we're going to be looking at Vector Gaming's vGAlkresh. vGAlkresh is a very stylistic Zerg. I happened upon him in the LG versus VG clan wars, and just watching the aggression he threw at his opponent in every single matchup, I was like, man, I need to talk to this guy. But before I, give the floor to him, I do want to throw out a couple of things, guys. GameReplays.org is still looking for more casters and writers and all different kinds of stuff, as is SC2Strategy.com. So if you guys are up-and-coming writers or casters or other media personnel, please go check those websites out, as they are potential opportunities for you. Anyways, vGAlkresh, you here, buddy?
Yeah, man.
All right, how you doing? How you doing?
Doing pretty well. Just want to throw out a quick correction. It's Visionary Gaming, not Vector Gaming. The common mistake. Don't worry about it.
Oh, wow. It's Vision Gaming. Okay. Wow. My bad.
No worries, man.
I was on your website, and you're
I know,
listed.
that's what it says on TLPD, and it's been a running joke among the team.
Ah, okay. Well, how did that start? I'm now incredibly curious.
Well, one day somebody decided, hey, let's see if vGAlkresh is even in TLPD. And so he checks, and he's just like, proud member of Vector Gaming vGAlkresh? And Vector Gaming has been, it seems, dead for a while. So, just kind of a little joke.
Hey, guys, this dude circled in red. This is vGAlkresh after winning a DC LAN. This goofy-looking motherfucker, this is who's talking to you.
This goofy little motherfucker. All right. I'll take that.
Alrighty, buddy. So anyways, ZvT aggression. Okay, are we talking 6 pulls here? I know Lennox's been doing that.
Nah, talking after your initial expansion, get your hatch down, putting pressure on the Terran after he has his expansion down, just very early on.
So like roach baneling then?
Not one or the other. You can't really do both with this as early on as I like to do.
I see. Because that's usually an 11-minute, 12-minute timing. Okay, yeah. So then those are the two aggressions most people are going to know. What are you talking about?
Talking about either roach aggression with speedling support or just straight speedling baneling, just trying to bust the front, kill a few workers, put the Terran in the defensive posture, keep him in his base while you get greedy. Get your upgrades, take your gases, drone up safely.
Okay, so this aggression is actually like a fight in order to get you a really, really, really amazing economy?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm just trying to cover all the bases here because I know the answer to this question, and I'm pretty sure most of the viewers will, but there's going to be, 2 or 3% who don't. So let's just go ahead and cover it. Zerg either make drones or make units. Aren't you setting your economy behind?
You are setting your economy behind, but the way Terrans tend to play in the metagame right now is, even though you're going to be a little behind in economy for a little while, you're going to do enough damage that the Terran will be behind in the end, usually.
Okay, so this is an all-in?
It's sort of an all-in. It will be behind if it does no damage, but that can be the same with any other pressure. It's easy to transition out of. If it only does a little bit of damage, you will be on even footing, so it's hardly an all-in my opinion.
I gotcha. Well, is there anything else you want to cover before we get this started?
Zergs need to take their gases a bit earlier. Need to get a little bit more greedy. Keep up with the Terrans.
Okay, so I've noticed that, obviously Zerg love metabolic boost, but after metabolic boost, players like Stephano don't even get evolution chambers or put their guys back on gas until 7 or 8 minutes. Is that kind of what you're talking about here?
Sort of. Zerg players are often too greedy for minerals when what they really need to be focusing on is that gas intake for that infestor mid-game, or mutas, as some players, myself included, like to do still.
I see. Okay. Well, I look forward to, highlighting all these points as we go through this. But let's go and get this started. This is a replay, this first game, guys. But after that, we should be getting some live matches started. I just wanted to have a controlled situation where we could show point by point two really good players going at it. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the players before we move on to the actual game. We've got vGAlkresh here, the orange Zerg on the top side of Atlantis spaceship. And we have VVV's Murder, the purple Terran on the left-hand side of Atlantis spaceship. Now, VVV Murder, that's a good friend of mine. So, without further ado, let's get it started in 3, 2, 1, go. VVV Murder is really known for his marine control. So, throughout this whole game, I'm going to be looking at Alkresh's banelings and just seeing if he gets any really good baneling hits off, because Murder usually doesn't let that happen.
Alright. Well, Terrans in the metagame these days, they've gone from a greedy reactor Hellion opening into one command center into they've transitioned into going one rack expand into the reactor Hellions, and it's an incredibly greedy play, but Zergs have been very passive still and just refuse to punish it. So the way I like to play is I get an incredibly early gas, before pool. I go 16, 16, 16, hatch gas pool, and that way I get 2 queens and metabolic boost as soon as my pool finishes.
Okay. So that's kind of similar to what most people are doing, 15, 16, 15.
Sort of.
Yeah.
One of the integral parts of this is the drone scout, because the drone scout is what you need to do to be safe from 11 racks,
right?
Like double 11 racks, while also scouting what your opponent's doing. In this game, Murder blocks off my drone from getting in there. However, I can tell from this incredibly early supply depot that he's most likely going to be going for a command center first rather than Hellions.
Okay. And what food do you usually send your drone? I know I like an 11 scout.
Yeah, the 11 scout on larger maps, 13 for smaller maps where I can just say, well, my opponent's here. No need to worry about it too much.
Gotcha. Alright, so I did, he is hunting that Overlord. Wow, scary. He's going to use a barracks now to target down the Overlord.
And this is a really big tell. This is an incredibly greedy play. And most Terrans get away with it because Zerg's just, I'm down an Overlord. I guess I'll just make more Overlords and just make more drones. However, one key fact about this is that when they lift the barracks like this, they're not making Marines, they're not making a reactor. Their building is going to be late for Hellions, so banning aggression would be good here, but so would roach aggression, because with banning aggression, it can just be blocked by a simple wall off. Roaches are always going to be good.
Okay. Now, I actually made a mistake when I was telling everyone about you and how you play and everything. I told them you were a top 25 masters. What are you really?
Belt rank 74 Grandmaster at the moment, so...
Alright, multi-accounts?
Yeah.
I see. I'm not retarded, guys. I didn't miss the big orange glowing symbol.
Yeah. Well, you mind going back just a little bit in the replay to about 420?
Sure, absolutely.
Skipped over an important part.
Okay.
Afterwards, are you pausing 420?
I am getting there. 420.
All right.
I'm sure some of our viewers are familiar with this number.
Well, after I got 100 gas originally, I pulled 2 drones off of the geyser so I could get that extra mineral intake. But after I could guess what my opponent was doing, I put both drones back on gas. I'm sure that I've scouted my base. I know that there's no CV to scout what I'm going. And Terrans need to know what's coming in order to be prepared to stop it.
My question here is, what would have made you keep one guy on gas?
It's just a very safe play. If my opponent suddenly decides to throw down 5 racks like TLO, then I could easily just toss down a baneling nest, put guys back on gas, and be safe from all those Marines. And just gives me plenty of options going into the mid game. Just one guy on gas, I can still produce constant drones if I need to. However, I don't. That extra gas just gives me flexibility a
Okay.
little further on.
Okay. So I'm at 420 times 1 speed.
Okay.
Ready when you are.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. So, it's about then here is where I decide I'm going to start being aggressive against my opponent. So I put guys on gas, toss down a roach worm, and I'm still going to be producing drones for a little while because I need that economy to fall back on. But I'm going to get these 2 queens up and just start preparing.
Okay. What do you think of the new range upgrade on queens?
It's very good for the style because it makes it even easier to defend Hellions trying to do counterattacks after the style, because one problem that the style can have is if your opponent decides to just ignore your attacking roaches and just ride straight on into your natural or main.
Mm-hmm.
So this upgrade makes it quite a bit easier for queens to alone to stop the Hellion harass.
Okay, that's pretty cool, pretty cool. I know a lot of people are complaining about it, saying it's OP for that very reason.
Yeah. Right now I'm just trying to deny scouting from Murder because he doesn't know right now anything that I'm doing.
That excellent Marine micro.
Yeah. I also wasn't paying attention very well right there, so.
No, he was stutter stepping like crazy.
Yeah. Well, see, Murder has no vision of the map right outside of his natural, and right now I have plenty of roaches on the way. I'm making lings, and roaches alone, not that great. Lings alone, pretty terrible. Combined, though, it's very good at breaking down bunkers and just killing lots of SCVs.
And is that because you can get the full surround on the bunker with a ling so the SCVs can't repair it?
Yeah, actually, it's good to have the SCVs repairing it, because once you get the SCVs are repairing it, the lings wrap around the bunker and just kill the SCVs off very quickly, doing plenty of economic damage. But, okay, so the pressure's starting, and Murder, very smart, completely walls off very early, but he doesn't have enough SCVs down his ramp to repair properly. So right now, my roaches are doing a lot of damage. If you look at the income tab and the production tab, I'm making nothing but drones right now.
Right.
So I have 6 roaches in my opponent's base. I can see all of his tech.
You're even destroying the reactor.
Yeah. Like, this makes it... The reactor takes a long time to build, and it limits the Terran's options afterwards.
Yeah, because
so I know everything that's going on right now.
Right. Well, I'm sorry. I was just going to point out, in, like, Ling, Baneling, Muta, you always hear people say, target down tech with Muta, it takes forever to build it. This just seems like a variation on that theme.
Yeah, definitely is. Right now, I mean, I have enough gas because I've kept those guys in Geyser that I can throw down double evolution chamber, I can get my other gases, I can just safely go into the mid game right now. I have a strong economy, I have a strong position, good overlord spread, I know it's coming.
I got you. Gotcha. Okay, so nice little double evolution chamber block. Never really seen it done like that.
Yeah. Past here, it just basically goes into a standard ZvT game.
Okay.
But killing those add-ons, not only, like, it just is a pain for Terrans to rebuild all of that, but it basically gives you much more time than you should ever be allowed from a Terran player, because Terran players, for a proper push, they need to have some sort of tech, some sort of, like, it's either reactor to get lots of units to get that pressure on quickly, or tech lab to get that research going.
Right. Okay, so my question here is, you're making a lot of speedlings, but he has a Banshee. Are you just going to hope they jump up there, or what's going on?
Well, to be honest, in this game I poorly reacted. Like, I didn't think he was going to make many Banshees or pressure very much. I thought he was going to use it defensively due to the aggressive nature I've been putting on earlier, but I kind of misread that. The Lings are more for map control, just so I can be sure at this point that nothing's coming.
So nothing's following up the Banshee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I could run the Lings back and just hope the Banshee fires, but most players aren't that bad. Murder certainly isn't.
Right. You give your opponent a little bit of respect. I got you.
Hmm. Yeah. From this point on, though, I'm fairly comfortable just macroing up and defending the Terran's pushes.
Alright, and when do you get your third? I noticed you got a macro hatchery, but usually you'll see a macro hatch player getting it about this time.
Well, right, I'm working on getting it now. It's just there's a Banshee in the way, so I had
Okay.
to get that out of the way. I had
Alright,
vision of it, so...
so what time would you have got it if that Banshee wasn't there?
It all depends on how the Terran player follows up.
Okay.
I play a very reactive style, so
I
I like to play
understand.
safe.
I understand. I just didn't know, like, if you were significantly delaying that hatchery because you were being aggressive or anything like that.
No.
Okay.
I probably could have gotten it up earlier. I just wasn't thinking about it.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
a
Okay.
lot of stuff in my play.
Okay, so we've got the siege tank line here at the natural. That and a wall off. Dude, that's nasty.
Yeah.
Terran defense, man. Here's your fourth going down, usual time. Alright, so this is looking like it's going really, really, really standard. Except, oh my, you're getting a missile attack upgrade. What's the story behind that? And just more roaches?
More roaches. I saw a very high tank count, so I'm assuming that he's going mech to an extent. And roaches are actually very strong in ZvT. Just very few people actually use them. I believe Nerchio uses them.
He does. Roach, ling, infestor. He uses that a lot. Generally, he doesn't use a macro hatch with it, but you were in a different circumstance.
Yeah. But I just wanted to be safe and prepared for anything he could throw at me.
Absolutely, and that's exactly right. I mean, because you couldn't get that third as early as you wanted to anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so Roach's mech, I'm kind of with you, but he's getting infantry upgrades. So do you still think this is a mech build? I understand why you thought that. Hellion and a Banshee, now you see tanks.
Yeah, well, I don't really think that, but I know he's going to be going a very siege-heavy push because I saw how many he had early on, so I assume he's just going to be constant production of siege tanks.
Gotcha. And,
Yeah.
Okay.
With the drop play, I could be sure that he was going biomech.
Right. Okay, so here is Medevac doing some crazy drops. Usually when people get 3 or 4 bases, they start throwing up a lot of spine crawlers. Are you that comfortable holding drops with no anti-air?
Usually I am fairly comfortable. I actually go Muta still, so I've been working on getting infestor play, but when I go Muta, I feel fairly comfortable.
Right, well, I mean, Muta pretty much shuts down drops, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's those Mutas coming now. Why did you go for the infestor before... okay, I want to pause it at 1525. Okay. Tell me about your tech, because I missed something along the way, but when you were at layer tech, it looked like you started your infestation pit first, and then got your spire. You were getting a +1 upgrade, which I thought was for broodlords, but now you've made 12 mutalisks.
Yeah. One of the things I generally do is, I thought he was going mech earlier, like when I thrown down the infestation pit. But then I started to realize he was going bio, and I don't feel comfortable with my infestors against bio, because I'm one of those Zergs that's late to the party.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So with that said, you are feeling completely comfortable to just tech switch even after a misread, like it's not setting you behind that much?
Like, I'm going to need that infestor tech later on anyways.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to need that spire tech later on anyways, so I just figure if I have it a little earlier than I need it, might as well make use of it.
Yeah, see, as a Zerg player, I usually would have just gone blindly with what I chose in the beginning and not tried to switch that. I like what you're saying here.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm being very selfish here. I'm improving my own play. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah. Well, right now I feel my play isn't that much different than any other Zergs, so got any matches lined up? Because I'd like to keep on with the aggression.
I see what you're saying. So this is completely standard from here on. I see what you're saying.
For the most part, yeah.
Okay, well, let me go through my friends list real quick and see if I can find anyone. Nobody so far. Oh, that's a Zerg player. You did mention you want to do Zerg versus Zerg later.
I could, because a lot of people are
Well,
just
that's going to be
feel,
later, though.
yeah, a lot of Zergs feel you can't pressure a hatch first with 14-14 very well without going all in.
Hold on a sec. Let me see what Murder's up to.
Get him to play against me some more.
That is the goal.
If he played against me, he'd probably like throw down 4 bunkers blindly at this point.
I see. Okay, alright, I'm trying to find someone in legit gaming real quick.
Alright.
See if anyone in the Legion's on. No. Alrighty. What other channels can we go check out?
I don't know.
Uh-oh. Nope. Alrighty. Do you have anyone on your friends list, maybe, that...
Not right now, I don't think, actually. I have no friends, man.
See, I have a lot of people on, but everyone's on D3 right now.
Yeah, that's actually the same problem I have right now. So go on to another replay.
Hold on. Here's one guy that might be able to help us out.
Alright.
He's a Top Masters Terran. Oh. Ah, you log off as I'm messaging you. How does that work?
You're magic, man.
That makes me very sad. Okay, no one in LG. How about MXG? Frieza, would you like... Oh, Andy's back. Andy. Okay, I think he's gonna join us. What map would you like?
Any map is fine for him. I don't really have any preference. I can pressure on most maps, so.
Alright, let's see if we get a response. Sorry about the delay, guys. We might run the show over scheduled a little bit, if that's alright with our guest. But we will try to get you at least 3 or 4 games in before we do that.
Okay.
Ah, answer. He's not answering. All right, I got to someone.
Okay.
It's LG Light Toner.
Don't think I played him before.
Cool deal. He's their A team, actually.
Oh. Maybe I have played him, just don't remember.
I think he misunderstood me. He's actually a Zerg player, and he thought I needed a Zerg, not a Terran.
Yeah.
That makes me so sad. Sorry about the delay here, guys. Just like I said, Diablo 3, man. Diablo 3. Go ahead and throw vGAlkresh into this match. Invite the game. Here's an observer that wants to join. I will let him in just because he's a good friend of mine. You don't want to verse my Terran. Oh, by the way, guys, if there's like a lot of noise in the background, I'm sorry about that. It's vGAlkresh's mic. There's nothing we can do about it. Especially when he goes quiet. When he talks, it usually clears up.
You probably don't want to hear my voice for constant hour or so.
Exactly, so just kind of something we have to deal with. Alright, not going to be able to find a Terran player. I'm going to go ahead and just give up that search. We'll just go ahead and launch into the next replay. What is this one? This is another one against Murder on MLG Daybreak.
Alright.
Alright guys, so after this replay, we'll do it again, try to find us another player. If that doesn't work, we've got one more replay lined up. Yes, we did come prepared. Diablo 3 didn't put that much of a hinge in our plans.
Okay, starting at the 1 minute mark again?
Yeah, let me get there real quick. Okay, so we just saw one of your builds, that roach ling style. Is that going to be what we're seeing here, or are you going to try something different?
Yeah, this game I actually go for banelings because the way that Terrans like to play on this map is their bunker is very vulnerable to banelings here. So.
Okay. Could you point that out to me more when the buildings are up? Because I don't quite understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I'll be sure to do that.
Alrighty, thank you. I'm in a minute when you are.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes, sir.
So, very similar how this game works to the previous game. Just go for that gas first, get very early speed, and scout with control.
Okay. All seems very technical.
Mm-hmm. With the Overlord speed increase, it's nice to be able to get it a lot greedier. Actually, this game I don't drone scout because on this map you can actually scout your opponent's ramp easily enough.
Your mic's starting to get distorted. Is there any way you can speak more clearly into it?
I can
Thank you.
try.
Perfect.
Alright.
You were saying?
Yeah, this is a best of 3 situation. He won the last game, so I was just trying to be a little bit more greedy than usual, just see if I could get a little bit of an advantage here.
Okay. Yeah, I've also heard the other buff for Zerg, the Overlord speed. I think that's really necessary for scouting, because sometimes Zerg just... We try everything and still are blind and just die for it. So this really helps.
Yeah.
There's YouTube videos online, actually, of comparisons between the ranges of Queens and the Overlord movement speed of this patch and the last patch. It's really worth checking out if you're not really sure of the specifics.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just basic stuff. We've got your 16-16-16 build. It's growing on me, actually.
Yeah. I actually came up with it completely by accident because at some point I found myself with some ridiculous amount of money. I had forgotten my pool and my extractor, so I was just like, well, we'll just go as greedy as possible. And it ended up the time everything worked out very well, so I just kept on doing it for a while.
I see. You forget to make stuff and figure out a new style. I forget to make stuff and die.
Difference between good players, grandmasters, and just good players.
I gotcha.
Well, see the bunker going up. This is a very popular bunker position on this map because it's very difficult to cover the entire natural, but this bunker position does so very well. And unlike Atlantis spaceship, you can't really wall this off quickly and efficiently early game. You'd have to cut probes, cut marines, and tech to get a good wall off, and even then it just would not be worth it.
Okay.
So I'm chasing his SCV away, just trying to keep his vision to an absolute minimum, because I planned on going banlings again, as you can see here.
Right, right. Okay, so that makes sense. Limit his map awareness.
Yeah. He has more units than he did the last time due to because he did not pull his barracks up.
Yeah.
So I think I make less drones and sustain unit production just a little bit longer before going back into drones.
Okay.
I make a lot here. And then I just check the front here, just see his positioning, and he does something very smart once he sees those speedlings, because he knows I can do a very fast aggression again, but he didn't put up this bunker in the back in time.
Okay. So now you're just getting a hit and it's going to be over. But
yeah,
this would make me, like, just poop my pants, man. What if he makes Hellions?
He does make Hellions, actually.
I see that!
That's, I see that he goes 1 Rax expand rather than, because I see all his Marines, know he's going 1 Rax expand, and I've already killed a ton of SCVs because of all those he puts on the low ground. I'm in his base, I see his tech once again, and I'm just in a good position. He ends up pulling his command center back to his main end, I believe, and from there I'm just in a good position. I mean, 25 harvesters to 18.
I want to pause at 7:15. Alright.
Alright.
So, I just want to recap this for everyone and myself included. Alright, so those 2 Hellions that did pop out only popped out and were able to kill like 3 or 4 lings that were in the main that just kind of ran up there. He split that little force off from this major group with the banelings. And even though this attack is not a killing blow, even though he's not even breaking this into the main, really, he's actually killed 14 workers, which he didn't invest that many larvae. He might have invested that many, but he didn't invest more than that. So now he's 7 harvesters ahead. His opponent has been mining double gas. He's not going to be able to do that anymore because he's got to get the minerals back in order to maintain production of Hellion, Marine, SCV. So he's in this really wonky position where he's just really behind. And then vGAlkresh mentioned this earlier. He's free to do whatever the hell he wants now. Does that basically sum it up?
Essentially. And the Hellions, they did pop out, but one thing people neglect is that Hellions, just 2 of them, not actually that great. They do damage. If you have Kite for about 3 minutes, you'll probably kill all the lings eventually.
Okay.
But just 2 Hellions is not that effective against lings. It doesn't even both them shooting, just doesn't one-shot literally a Zergling anymore.
Okay.
So I don't really have to worry about it too much. The follow-up, yes, it can be a problem, but with the Queen buff, I feel pretty safe against it.
Okay, so most players, I think, would feel choked right here, even though we've already pointed out how far you are ahead. Is there anything else we need to point out here to really show that this isn't an all-in and this wasn't a failed attack?
Well, you could just look at the harvester count and just see. Like, I have good keep spread from my main to my natural. I have a big harvester lead. I feel comfortable enough to take my gases. I can go into whatever tech path I want. And though this was a best case scenario, even if I'd only killed Marines at the ramp, he would still be stuck in his base for a while. It would delay mining because he would be mining inefficiently. I'd know what he's up to. I'd feel safe to drone up at home for a while.
Okay.
But very rarely can an opponent just hold this off without taking any worker kills.
Alrighty then. I guess that sums it up. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out, I believe, like, if I remember correctly what I was doing this game, I'm just trying to figure out what tech path do I want to go down. Like, because in one game, I actually had a substantial lead but lost to him. Okay. So I just wanted to kill him at this point. I knew I could kill him because of all the damage I'd already done. So I throw down an evolution chamber to get some carapace upgrade. Throw down a roach warren, get my lair on the way. Just starting up a roachling bane all in.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. You murder. I hate to just keep saying this, but his Marines, man. And once you hit late game with 3/3 stem Marines, it's over.
Yeah. Marines are pretty good, in case nobody's heard before.
Yeah. And he's pretty good with them. Oh, you're saying?
Yeah, like, after being pressured like this, you can tell from Murder's play right now that he's so unused to, like, encountering this sort of pressure. There's 3 lings outside of his base, at most, and he's refusing to push out onto the map.
Which, again, gives you all the time you want.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I have everything I could possibly need right now, map control, well, like, vision of his main, at least. And I got an overlord through. I know exactly what's going on. I have no reason to be worried right now.
Right. Could you reiterate that last point? I want to even pause it at 9:45 just to get that covered. You have no map awareness right now. You don't have either the Zelnaga Towers because of the Hellions, but you feel perfectly safe, even though your opponent's on one base, which is usually like an all-in situation. Could you explain that line of reasoning?
Well, when I went up his ramp with my lings, if you go to my vision here,
okay,
you can see how much I see. I see a Banshee with the tech, Starp with the tech lab, which essentially means Banshee, a factory with a reactor, which means Hellions. So I know basically the only 2 things he could possibly support right now are just Banshees and Hellions. And I have spores, I have queens on the way, I have flare tech so I can get detection infestor, and I have roaches up. So I know I'm prepared for anything he could possibly throw at me right now.
Your mic's getting distorted again, if you don't mind.
Damn it all. Well, I don't know how to fix it very well. He does actually have a lot more damage than he should here. He actually kills a lot of drones, but it doesn't really matter in the long run.
Alright, well, so I just, again, we're approaching time on this replay, so I've still got it at 9:45. I don't want to miss any action. But let's go over your Overlord spread, because I think this is something that is a weak point for a lot of Zerg players in lower levels. They're scared to put Overlords out on the map, especially in ZvT, because they are not aware of high ground, of where spots are that are kind of hidden. Is that something you just have to go look up, or is there like a certain method to picking out locations?
Most of the time I end up just trying out things and just finding out they work. Like, Daybreak is one of the best places to, like, just get used to, like, being aggressive with your Overlord positioning, because all these little things that my Overlords are positioned above, those are all high ground, and they provide great vision, and because of these, even though he has Hellions on the map, I still can see most of what he's doing and pushing out with.
Okay. I got you.
Which is one of the reasons I feel confident in this game.
Okay, that works for me. Are you ready to start this up and look at the end game?
Yep.
Alrighty, yeah. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah. Like, at this point, I know I'm very far ahead. I just killed his Banshee. I know he can't have very much. I know that he's still only on one base, and I'm about to kill him, essentially. I'm completely confident in that fact.
I do want to take a look at how many workers he's killed. Only 7. You've killed 17.
Yeah, pretty good numbers, so, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And we're seeing you just kind of moving these lings in his natural around, probably trying to keep him safe from Hellions.
Just occasionally checking for that command center to be on the ground.
So you're doing a roach ling baneling all in, but you're getting a spire. So you're transitioning out of this ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have all my gases, so even if this doesn't kill him, it's still going to do some damage, and with Mutalisks, he's just going to be completely turtled inside of space.
Right.
With his economy, he can't possibly afford to get everything covered by turrets.
I got you.
And he's just going to have to be completely on defensive.
And here he is with a Banshee. Go, Queen.
but it just doesn't matter at this point.
Right. And here you are with the banelings running it straight into that depot, and then the roaches are going to do the rest. That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. Um,
Yep.
okay, so this is basically the end of this match. I do want to talk about this third, though, because this strangely reminds me of Warcraft 3. Did you play that by any chance?
Very little.
Okay, well,
Never competitively.
in Warcraft 3, it was common to expand right as you attack, or right before you attack, to get your expansion up. And usually in StarCraft, that seems like a failure move because you don't have the army your opponent does. But you're showing a difference here, so I want to highlight that and get your opinion on it.
I mean, a lot of attacks, like, you just... A lot of the time I won't actually do this sort of stuff, but in this case, it's more of an all-in that I'm doing, and if somehow he manages to hold it off without doing too much damage, I figure I might be behind economically just ever so slightly. So I get this up just as a precaution,
Okay,
essentially.
alright. So you already had
And-
the units you knew should kill him.
Yeah.
I got you.
And this doesn't really work too well for other races because with a third as a Zerg, I can use it as a macro hatch instead of like running up on it.
So it's like
Just
powering,
produce extra units.
making extra barracks or making extra factories or extra gateways. You're just powering up your army production, possibly.
Essentially, yes.
That's a really, really good point. Alrighty, I'm going to go back to the chat room, see if I can find you someone. We're going to give it 2 minutes, see if we can find someone, and if not, we will be doing another replay. But this is going to be the end of part 1 of Metagame Magic, so we'll be going live again in 2 minutes, guys.